Barbara Carrera. They called us Salt and Pepper. And we came into Dallas Angelica would seduce Larry Hagman, JR, and I took his nephew. So,
if I didn't know better, I would almost believe that you cared for him more than you should. I was merely playing my part, and very well. I'm sure Jack is going to be a happy man to the end.
So in order to succeed our scam, we were going to take millions and millions of dollars from him. Unfortunately, I fell in love and regretted that I was actually a hitman at times. I mean, it was a funny storyline, really.
Was that the first time you'd ever played a sort of contract killer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I came off Princess Daisy at the time where I was an angel, right?
Okay. And tell us, Merete, what was it like on set working alongside Larry Hagman and Patrick Duffy, the two practical jokers? Well, three if you include Linda Gray, because they were all practical jokers from our discussion so far, who love to play jokes and tricks on all the actors and guest actors that came onto the set of Dallas.
Well, I kind of escaped that.
Okay.
Larry Hagman was really nice to me. And I mean, he's an interesting man. He would do odd things. Like one time I had lunch with him, with the rest of the crew, but I was sitting right in front of him. And he was telling me, or he was drinking this snake poison that he'd gotten special from China or wherever it was,
Okay.
He said for his erection because of his age.
Okay, well, and he just spilled the beans so openly about something like that.
Totally, for everybody to hear at a table of 50.
And tell us, what was the first day on set of Dallas like? Was it nerve-tingling? Was it nerve-wracking? Because obviously you were in season 9. It was a massive show by that stage. Probably one of the most #1 shows watched all across America and later in the world, but especially in America at the time where there was only 3 TV networks. Dallas was right and center. Everybody, reporters, news agents, they all want to know what was happening and going on in Dallas. And what was that like rocking into that set on the first day? Was it nerve-wracking?
Well, I had my casting in the afternoon, and they called me, and it was only with the casting director. So when I got home, the phone rang, and they said, "Okay, pack your bag. You're going to Dallas tomorrow morning." So everything happened so quickly. And of course, I get to Dallas, and it's really hot there. So, I mean, you go outside, you're wet, right? And my first scene was in the shop where I was spying on somebody. It was kind of like a private detective getting the scoop. I forgot who it was I was getting the scoop on. But it was really interesting because then I went over to meet Barbara Carrera, and she was having an absolute nervous breakdown and a fit yelling at somebody. That was the first time I met her. So that made me feel like I had to protect her from herself or something. I don't know. She ended up being one of my very best friends ever. She's an absolute wonderful person. So it was very eventful. And of course, the first time I'd ever been to Texas. So that was also interesting.
And Merete, did you know from the start when you signed on and landed the role that you would be there for 24 episodes, or was it only initially a few episodes recurring and maybe 3 or 4 to start or did you know you were going to be there for the whole season?
No, I didn't know, because initially they'd only hired me for 6 episodes.
Okay. And after that 6, had you other ideas and plan in mind? Was it a great surprise and a shock to you when they asked you to stay on?
No, I don't know. I mean, I was just, when you're an actor, you just want to work. I just, wanted it.
Hmm.
Well, I was happy, I suppose.
And what was the prominent female cast like? Barbara B. Geddes, Linda Gray. Did you have any interactions, Charlene Tilton, with some of the main female stars?
Victoria Principal,
Yeah.
she was really nice. Her, I had interactions with where she was coming and giving me advice, and well, Larry Hagman, of course. Linda Gray, she directed one of the episodes I was in.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, when you're on the Dallas set, they worked us 18 hours a day.
Hmm.
So, I mean, there was no mercy. Even if you were in the last scene of the day, they wanted you to show up at 5 a.m.
Hmm.
And sometimes you got home at midnight.
Yeah. And Merete, in terms of being on set, in terms of Dallas for that season and your character as such, were you given any freedom to pursue any other projects for that year, or was it when you were on the set of Dallas because it was a recurring sort of role? Did you have to pass up on other opportunities that year?
Yeah, I did have to, and I was kind of angry about that. I had to pass up on a few opportunities where I easily could have done both that day because I was in the last shot.
Okay.
But what I was told by the administration was that they own me as long as I was on that show.
Okay. And
And that's really how they said it too, you
okay.
know.
And did that sort of dampen your experience on Dallas, or did diminish it from any way, or it was still a wonderful experience for yourself?
Well, I mean, looking back, it was a wonderful experience. When you're right in the middle of it, it was kind of hard.
Mm. And
It was kind of hard.
yeah, and did Dallas open any doors or opportunities for you having Dallas on your resume and credits,
But
especially?
absolutely, having been honored by being a part of such an epic historical show.
Mm.
I mean, one thing that I wanted to share with you that I thought was really interesting is that was one of the first times I met with Larry Hagman. I went up to him and I said to him, I think you're such a great actor.
Mm.
He turned around and he said to me, but I'm not an actor, I'm a personality. So at the time, I didn't really understand what he meant. And I don't know if today I agree with him, but that's how he thought of himself. So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
And dare I say, in terms of Grace Van Owen and that character and all your friends seeing it, all your family, sort of loved ones, did you resonate? Did you bring any bit of you into her? Because I imagine, did the writers, producers let you go with the flow or put your own initiative into it? Or is it very much their own creation?
Um, well, you can have your own internal monologue going where you then would like kind of have to doctor their dialogue. It wasn't very good writing on that show, I think.
Okay.
So sometimes we kind of thank God you can act because then you can make almost anything interesting. But I mean, there was some work in there to be done.
Okay. And Grace, Merete, my apologies. Before we came on air, you mentioned about something that you want our audience and listeners to know about, a certain project that's close to your heart.
Well, I have the Actor Universe that is online. It's shop.thevancampstudio.com. And then I have a series that I finished writing that will be coming around soon called Le Appartement. I'm going to be one of the starring roles in it. So, and otherwise, you have to wait and see. We've got a few other things cooking.
Okay. Uh,
Um,
And Merete, if I take the character Grace Van Owen and I put her in a Dallas encyclopedia and I left 2 blank sentences under her name and I asked you, Merete Van Kemp, having played the character to Grace, having played the character Grace Van Owen, what would you like those to read in terms of describing her?
She was a strong woman.
Okay.
Someone to be reckoned with, because actually in the end she even had integrity.
Okay, very good, very good. And Merete Van Kemp, I'm going to turn it over to you now for the final 30 seconds. The floor is yours. If there's anything or any special memory, any special moment of your time in Dallas that made you laugh, that made you cry, a special sort of message that you want to say to our fans, about our audience, about playing at Grace Van Owen, the floor is yours.
Well, playing Grace Van Owen was a wonderful experience, to be on the MGM lot, walking through there, because we had, our steady, that was our main spot. I got to be friends with a lot of the producers, so I really enjoyed passing by the different offices and having a cup of coffee. It was good time.
It was good times. Good times indeed. Merete Van Kemp, thanks for sharing your experiences of playing Grace Van Owen for 24 episodes in Dallas in season 9 from 1985 to 1986. For me, Jim Colan, all that's left to you to say is stay safe, take care, and God bless.
Likewise. Thank you.